So last night was the presidential debates, if you didn't know, and if you don't live in the United States, or if you're living under a rock, or if you just don't give a fuck, because I don't blame you, because it was, in literally the words of like a CNN analyst at the end, they were like, pardon my language, but that was a total shit show. And we're allowed to say that because we're on cable, but pardon my... It was so funny. I'm like, I didn't know they could say shit show on CNN.
Well, they were not on cable. They were live streaming, I think, on YouTube or whatever.
They were on cable.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it was a shit show. It was like, I saw a tweet by like Trevor Noah. It was like, tonight was a reminder that kindergarten teachers are underpaid. Because it was just like two kids just like yelling at each other, talking over each other the whole time.
Yeah, I mean...
Sir, you know what? We're going to give Joe Biden 30 seconds back because you need to stop interrupting. Well, I've not been the only one who's interrupting. Other people have been interrupting, but you've been interrupting more than the other. Well, no. Sir, your campaign agreed to the rules. Well, you know, my campaign, I am not my campaign. I am the Democratic Party. Earlier tonight, you said that you were the Democratic Party. Well, I'm currently not an active Democrat right now.
Oh, my God.
I didn't say anything about Portland because no one will listen to me anyway.
Yeah, it was, I mean,
do you hate black people? You need to denounce white supremacy. Well, but Antifa, though.
Yeah. So anyways, instead of quoting the whole thing, what did you think immediately after or during?
I don't know, bro. I mean, I feel like most people that are undecided voters are going to tune in to the first debate, and that will be the only debate they turn into because they're undecided and they honestly don't give a shit. They're disengaged anyway. And I feel like both Joe and Trump, like, kill me, whatever. But Donald and Joe, both Donald and Joe. But I mean, Trump is a showman as always. You know, he's quick-witted. He's quippy. He's fast talking. He's over talking. You know, Joe is very slow and not smooth and like kind of stutters sometimes where he'll try to say a word and then it doesn't come out. So he says like another word instead.
I'm mainly saying like, what did you like overall, not just like recapping the debate. What are you thinking? Like as far as...
I didn't get anything out of it, honestly. It
was not productive at all.
At all. Like I was like, cool. Like I just spent 90 minutes watching two people yell at each other for no reason. Like,
yeah.
Like everything they talked about, like coronavirus, like the economy, like law enforcement, like nothing. Like I didn't like. That's the problem about debates. It's like we have 90 minutes and 2-minute segments to talk about these big, gigantic, challenging issues, while also having an ego fight with some dude on the other side of the stage.
Yeah, it was just for me. The whole thing was just really embarrassing, honestly. Like.
Yep, like other countries looking in like, look at those fuckers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just like, man, the simulation is really glitching hard today.
Yeah.
Like, it is just glitching hard. Because the fact that these two fucking clowns are the two guys that we've got on the national stage, like, literally at one point, Biden called him a clown. It was great.
He goes, and then we got the clown over here. I mean, Mr. President. Like, he literally, like...
He's like, sorry, I'm sorry. He always says something. Did you see, like, a couple, like, last week when he called that group of military people stupid bastards? And then Donald Trump brought it up last night. He was talking to a bunch of people from the military and he said something and they didn't clap. He was like introducing someone. He goes, clap, you stupid bastards. He literally said that. And then last night Donald Trump was like, and you called our military stupid bastards. He's like, I did not say that. He's like, yes, you did, and you know it. You said it. And
that is untrue.
He did say that. He did call the military stupid bastards. Granted, it was kind of funny.
My son. Well, which son are you talking about? I'm not talking about Bo. I'm talking about the other one.
I'm talking about the dead one that died of drugs. Like, it's like, oh my God, that was a low blow.
Is that how Bo died?
Well, one of his sons is alive, and that's the one that they were talking about Moscow and all this stuff, and the other one was in the military and died because of drug problems and stuff.
I don't know much, but from what I understand,
and it was very messed up that he even brought that up.
From what I took away from it was that the one that's still alive was the one that had the drug problem that got clean.
I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty sure what I said a second ago was what I knew, but I don't know. Either way,
My
Either
son
way.
was a patriot and not a sucker or a loser.
He wasn't prepared for that one. But either way,
I mean, neither of them were
the
prepared
bottom
for
line is
anything.
I don't necessarily care about the issues that they discussed because they didn't discuss any issues at all, really. Like,
They really didn't.
both of them were just accusing each other of not having a plan. Both of each other were just accusing well, if you were in my position, this would have happened. Oh, well, no, if I was in your position, this would have happened.
And they talked stats. It's like,
And their stats are not even right. Like, Joe Biden flubs the numbers so often. He's like 4,000 people contracted the COVID-19 coronavirus. And it's like, what did you even just say? I have no idea what you just said. And it's just very sad because, I mean, like, honestly, I think Andrew Yang would have done really great in a debate setting.
I would love to see Joe Jorgensen even hop up on there and
Yeah, and add a third. I don't know about her debate style. She might have gotten ran over by, because that's the thing. It's like the only way that you can have a healthy debate is if both parties are agreeing to the like rules of the debate. And
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Trump was breaking them more, but at the end of the day, the only way to fight back of someone who doesn't give a fuck. It's like, how do you play chess against someone who just flips the table?
you flip it back.
Yeah, like you can't win against someone who's playing chess if all they're going to do is just flip the table once they start losing or once you start bringing up stuff that they don't want to hear. It's like, it's just not a
I'm just
thing. But
sick of the fucking two-party system, bro.
same.
Like,
and
and the electoral college, like, our votes are pretend votes that might influence the real votes. It's like, I am a member of
the
the
electoral college has never voted against what their constituents have voted, though. Like, there's never been a time ever where the electoral college votes differently than the people. Like, the reason
that
why
happened last election, bro. There was more popular votes than there was.
that's not what the electoral college is. The electoral college, it's basically like, for example, if we're in Gwinnett, we have or if we're in Georgia, we have this many votes in the electoral college. But that doesn't necessarily 100% correlate to our population because it's all divided by counties. The way that you win the electoral college, the way that you win the state is you win the amount of counties, right? So like if Fulton County wins, it's worth a certain amount of points, but there's still the rest of Georgia. So like if Democrats vote in Atlanta and they win that portion of the vote, but the rest of the state, they win all those other counties, it counts more. So even though maybe in the popular vote, if you break down the population numbers, there could be more Democrats than Republicans that voted or whatever, that more people voted Democrat than Republican, but because of the way that it's all divided, and that's what people bring up when they're talking about redlining and they're talking about gerrymandering and all this type of stuff, is that the lines have been drawn by politicians that know, oh, well, if we include this little pocket into our county, that we know that these people over here are more likely to vote Republican, so we're going to like loop them into the county. That's why the county lines are all so fucky and weird. You're like, why does like the city of Sandy Springs like normal shaped and then it's got this one little pocket here? Oh, well, maybe it's because of this, or also maybe it's because of like gerrymandering, and they have like literal that is the right word, right? Gerrymandering. Yeah. I'm like, am I messing something up when the hernia thing? But it's not necessarily because of the electoral college that's why the popular vote can win, but someone else can be in office. It's because of that type of shit. But the thing about the electoral college is actually Trump is the one who's trying to get rid of the electoral college right now because of whatever. Like,
it was my understanding, and I could be wrong because I really don't pay that close attention to politics, but like the electoral college is like, cool, my constituents all like 59% said Democrat and 41% said Republican, but I'm just gonna vote Republican anyway because I'm the electoral college and I can do what I want to do.
No, it's basically the reason why they created it is because they were at a certain time they felt like, well, the people aren't smart enough to know, that's why we elect the people in the electoral college or whatever that will actually cast the real vote. But I'm pretty confident that the electoral college has never voted against what the state votes. And I think
it's the other way around.
No,
I think
because
they frequently vote against what the state wants.
Because the electoral college, however many you have for your state, all of them have to vote that way. It's not like, because that's what they talk about when you like, we just won Ohio. That means we got 14 votes in the electoral college. We just won California. That means we got 47 votes in the electoral college. So whatever state you win, you get all of the members of your representatives for your state or whatever. Like, so it's, you know how like when you look at the map, California's worth more, New York's worth a lot more, Florida's worth a lot more, and then a lot of the other states. That's
Like
how many votes they
states
get.
like
That's how many
Michigan and
votes you
Ohio
get in the
and shit
electoral
like that.
college, and you have to get at least 207 or whatever it is to win. And so when you win the state, you win all of those votes from the electoral college. It's not like, well, I'm representing Atlanta, so I'm the electoral college and I'm going to vote Democrat. No, I'm representing this, so I represent Republican. It's like you get all of the people from the one state. But anyways, it's silly.
It's all this red versus blue, fucking
But
left versus right, elephants and donkeys bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly the saddest part is that the American people are the ones that are gonna lose out, and it's sad that
Every time.
the Democratic Party couldn't figure out someone else besides Joe fucking Biden to get in there, because I mean, honestly, I think he was the worst equipped to debate Trump. He's the worst equipped to win against him. And if you want my prediction, I definitely think Trump is going to win.
I'm not convinced that. Yeah, everyone's like, there's no way anyone's going to reelect a criminal. Like, there's no way he flubbed the coronavirus response. Like, oh, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
If you hang out on Twitter, you hang out on Twitter all the time, yeah,
Right.
you'll probably believe that, because that's all you're going to see.
Yeah,
but you have to remember
being
that
in a bubble, man. Because
Yep.
like the thing is, there's a lot of people that, not just his base, like there's a lot of people that really like Trump. Like this definitely reminds me of, George Bush in 2004. Like after 9/11, everyone's like, no one's gonna reelect George W. Bush again. There's no way. And ta-da, he got, because most people are like, well, I'd rather have the same guy than a new guy. I'd rather have the same idiot than a new idiot.
And let's be honest, it's like at the end of the day, when they're debating, like Joe will always say like, oh, well, during your presidency, this is your virus, this is blah, blah, blah. And like, and then Trump fires back, well, during your, under you, I was inherited the worst recession, blah, blah. And it's like, at the end of the day, the president is not the sole person responsible for anything for everything that happens in the country on their watch. It's like,
it's not like one
you
guy
killed 200,000 Americans from coronavirus. It's like, there was a pandemic.
It's like, and you killed 400,000 soldiers because you took away their health insurance. It's like, what the fuck?
But the main thing is, like, at the end of the day, if I look back 4 or 5 years ago, has my life changed that much based on who the fuck the president is? No.
Well, you are a white guy too, so don't forget that, That's a factor.
Yes, but also, like, yeah, it's like, I understand where you're coming from. It's like, yeah, I'm the most privileged person that can exist right now in America, probably. But at the end of the day, the winds of change blow on us all. You know what I mean? Like there's a story that I forget if it was Zig Ziglar. I can't remember who.
That sounds like a Zig Ziglar thing.
Yeah, I think it was either Zig Ziglar or one of those other MLM
like Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn. It was Jim Rohn, and he talks about all this type of stuff. He's like, you can spend all your time looking into politics and whatever, but it's going to affect you whether you're like really all into it and, letting it ruin your life and letting it take over all your ideas. It's affecting you just as much as the guy who's not paying attention at all and just goes on with his life. Cause he's like, you can spend your energy there, but it's not going to get you anywhere, cause they're going to do what they're going to do. You can only like change you or whatever. And it's like, he talks about, like, in regards to MLM and stuff, he's like, you're going to invite people to your, thing, and they're not going to come, and you're going to get all mad about it, like, why didn't, he said he was going to come, he didn't come to my thing, but you have a birthday party and one of your friends doesn't show up, and you're not like, you're like, oh, he probably had something come up. You're not like mad about it, it's like, but as soon as it's about like a business thing, you get all butthurt about it. And it's like, he says, don't take that class. He's like, if you're going to ask why some people say they're going to come and they don't come, just don't take that class. You're never going to figure it out. Just don't worry about it. You just know that this is what's going to happen and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I think about, even like kids, like someone who's anywhere between 10 to 16, like, they're not paying attention, and no matter,
I don't know. A lot of them are paying attention. If you look on TikTok, a lot of them are very, very active. Probably more active than normal.
I'll speak on behalf of myself. When I was 10 to 16 years old, I wasn't fucking paying attention.
But you didn't have all these social media devices and a phone in your pocket
Correct,
that had access to watch a debate in your bedroom if you wanted to.
TV, there was, newspapers, there was magazines, there was people talking on the streets, like there was conversations at work. Like it wasn't like they weren't, like it wasn't being discussed. But I mean, for the most part, like you said, like my life was like pretty much the same, like I can't think.
And that's what,
unless you are someone who I guess like heavily relies on the government for lots of things, like whether it's like, any reason you would need any type of help from the government, like that's when your life would be probably different, as if like policies changed or whatever, and you're like, oh.
No, I'm not saying that doesn't have effect. You're right. Like, you're totally right. Like, when it comes to healthcare and things like that, it's like, yeah, those can make big sweeping changes. But at the end of the day, did your life go did it go down a full point? Like, did your life get like so dramatically worse? And can you blame it solely on this one guy? Like,
well, everyone likes to blame it on the one guy because
it's easy to blame.
He's the one guy who's supposedly in charge. But the truth is, it's like you got to look at Congress, and you got to look at the Senate, and you got to look at the Supreme Court, and you got to look at like your local elections, and who you're sending to Washington, and who your fucking mayor is, and like those are the things that I think matter more, is your local stuff. It's like what do they say? Think globally, act locally, or whatever that stupid little quip is. It's like, it's more about what's happening in your neighborhood than it is necessarily on the grand scale of things.
100%. And
we've seen states operate autonomously. We've seen counties and cities operate autonomously because they're like, man, fuck this government bullshit. Like, I ain't doing anything. Like, Atlanta mayor does that.
Yeah, well, that's the whole American experiment, right? It's like we have multiple governments inside of the government. It's like that's why weed is legal in California and Colorado, but like federally, it's still a Schedule I drug.
And then like Georgia, anywhere in Georgia will get you jail time except for Atlanta, where it's been decriminalized. It's like, oh, did you drive down one extra road that went one direction you didn't know?
And you have a plant on you?
Yeah, it's like
you have a plant that grows in the ground?
It's like 5 years automatic.
Yeah, it's minimum sentencing. Anyways,
mandatory minimums can get fucked.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, I think it's just really sad that this is what we got. And it's very, very, very apparent that something needs to change. And sadly, I think Trump's going to get voted in again. Everyone's going to blame him on all the problems.
And that's fine. Let him,
It's fine. Yeah. But what's really sad is when you look at what a lot of these, local governments are doing it looks like they're trying to help. Like it looks like for example, with like lockdown stuff, it's
trying
like
to steer the narrative.
On the front facing facade, it looks like that they're actually helping, but I think deep down they're trying to pull some strings and pull some political bullshit so that Trump looks worse. And I think if it was really all
politics.
about,
they're always trying to pull some sneaky shit.
And I think if it was all about actually helping people and making everyone feel safe and everyone feel empowered and all that, life would be very different. But unfortunately, we've just got these two stupid old parties that can't budge on stuff.
The two people that are running for the presidency are like 77 and 71 or some shit. Like there's these two old fucks. And if you look,
they're literally like geriatric pedophiles. It's so weird.
And if you look at Congress, the average age of Congress people are like 60, 70, 80. It's ridiculous. But the average American is like 37. It's like, why do we literally have these ancient fucking relics? These like old fucks, and everyone's like, oh, well, it's all about experience and maturity. And it's like, no, they're just old fucks that can't think differently. They're just stuck in their goddamn ways.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you'd like to see the full episode, click right here. If you'd like to subscribe, click here. If you'd like more clips, we got 2 more right over here.